Hello, wonderful parents, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that's at the heart of everything we do, making our kids genuinely happy. It's not about buying the latest toys or planning extravagant trips. True, lasting happiness often comes from the simplest, most unexpected moments. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's explore some top tricks to bring more joy, laughter, and connection into your family's life. Trust me, these are game changers. First up, let's talk about the magic of undivided attention. I know, life is a whirlwind of multitasking. We're checking emails while making breakfast, taking calls while driving to soccer practice. But have you ever tried setting aside just 10 to 15 minutes of completely uninterrupted, phone down, screen off, one-on-one time with your child? I call this special time. During these few minutes, your child is the boss. They choose the activity, whether it's building a lopsided Lego tower, having a tea party with their stuffed animals, or just telling you about their day. You are just there, fully present. You're not directing, correcting, or suggesting. You are simply a participant in their world. This small investment of time sends a powerful message. You are my priority. You are important to me. You'll be amazed at how this simple practice can fill their emotional cup and reduce attention-seeking behaviors throughout the day. It is like a daily dose of connection that strengthens your bond and makes them feel deeply seen and valued. Next, let's embrace the power of yes. How many times a day do we say no? No, you can't have cookies for breakfast. No, don't jump on the couch. No, we can't go to the park right now. It's often necessary, of course, for safety and structure. But what if we made a conscious effort to find more opportunities to say yes? This isn't about letting go of all rules. It's about shifting our mindset. Instead of, no, you can't paint on the walls, try yes, let's get some big paper and you can paint on that. Instead of, no more screen time, try yes, you can have 10 more minutes and then we're going to read a book together. Finding the yes validates their desires while gently redirecting them. A yes day, even a yes hour, can be an incredible adventure. The pure delight on their face when they hear yes to a silly, harmless request, like eating dessert first or wearing a cape to the grocery store, is absolutely priceless. It empowers them and shows that you're on their team. Now for a trick that sounds simple but has profound effects. Get outside every single day, rain or shine for at least a little while. Nature is a natural mood booster, not just for kids but for us too. It's a sensory wonderland. Think about it. The feeling of grass between their toes, the sound of birds chirping, the smell of rain on the pavement, the sight of a fuzzy caterpillar inching along a leaf. Being outdoors encourages unstructured play, which is crucial for developing creativity, problem-solving skills, and resilience. It allows them to run, jump, and shout, releasing all that pent-up physical energy that can otherwise manifest as restlessness or frustration indoors. You don't need a grand plan. A walk around the block, a visit to a local park, or even just some time in the backyard can completely reset the mood for the entire family. It breaks up the monotony of the day and creates opportunities for shared discovery. Another fantastic way to spark joy is to establish silly family traditions. These don't have to be elaborate or expensive. They are the unique, quirky rituals that become the stuff of family legend. Maybe it's Wacky Wednesday, where everyone wears mismatched socks. Perhaps it's a spontaneous kitchen disco, where you crank up the music and have a dance party while making dinner. It could be a special handshake you share every morning, or a funny word you say when someone sneezes. These traditions create a sense of belonging and a shared family identity. They are inside jokes that weave your family closer together. When your kids look back on their childhood, they might not remember every toy they received, but they will absolutely remember the time Dad tried to do the worm in the living room, or when the whole family had a pancake flipping contest. These are the moments that build a treasure chest of happy memories. Let's also talk about involving them in real work. Kids have an innate desire to be helpful and competent. We often shoo them away when we're cooking or cleaning, thinking it's faster and easier to do it ourselves. And honestly, it usually is. But when we invite them to help, we give them a powerful gift. We show them that their contribution matters. Let them stir the pancake batter, even if some spills. Let them help sort the laundry, even if the socks don't perfectly match. Give them a small spray bottle with water and a cloth and let them clean the windows. Yes, it will be messy, and yes, it will take longer. But the pride on their face when they've helped is immeasurable. It builds their confidence and teaches them valuable life skills. It transforms mundane chores into moments of connection and teamwork, making them feel like a capable and essential part of the family unit. My next tip is to listen, and I mean really listen, to their stories. Kids' stories can sometimes be long, winding, and, let's be honest, a little nonsensical. It's tempting to tune out or rush them along, but resist that urge. When your child is telling you about a dream, they had a conflict with a friend at school, or their elaborate plan for a new Minecraft world get down on their level, make eye contact and give them your full attention. Ask open-ended questions like, "And then what happened?" Or, "How did that make you feel?" This validates their experiences and emotions. It tells them that their thoughts and feelings are important to you. This practice of active listening builds trust and emotional safety, ensuring that as they grow older and face bigger problems, they'll know they have a parent who will truly hear them out without judgment. Finally, don't forget the power of a good laugh. Laughter is one of the quickest ways to diffuse tension and create a positive atmosphere. Be goofy, tell terrible jokes, have a tickle fight, speak in a funny accent for a few minutes, watch a funny movie together. When things get tense, like during a sibling squabble or a homework meltdown, sometimes injecting a moment of unexpected silliness can be the perfect pattern interrupt. It can break the cycle of frustration and remind everyone not to take things so seriously. Sharing laughter creates a powerful bond. It reduces stress hormones and releases endorphins, making everyone feel better. A home filled with laughter is a happy home, plain and simple. So give yourself permission to be playful and silly with your kids. It's good for their soul, and it's good for yours too. So, to recap, dedicate short bursts of undivided attention, find ways to say yes, get outside daily, create silly traditions, let them help with real tasks, truly listen to their stories, and laugh together as much as possible. It's all about fostering connection, building their confidence, and creating a joyful environment where they can thrive. These small, intentional acts are the building blocks of a happy childhood. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you found these tips helpful and inspiring. Which one are you excited to try first? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our future content. And start a video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As parents, we all want the best for our kids, right? And in today's world, knowing English is a huge advantage. But let's be honest, getting your child excited about learning a new language can feel like trying to teach a cat to swim. You push, they resist. You try flashcards, they run away. It can be super frustrating. So, how do we turn "I don't want to" into "Can we learn more English, please?" That's the million-dollar question. And today, I'm going to share some game-changing strategies that will help you transform English learning from a chore into an adventure your child will actually love. And I promise, it's easier and more fun than you think. Stick around because we're about to crack the code. The biggest mistake we make is treating English like another school subject. Think about it. Homework, tests, drills. It screams boring to a kid. The secret is to forget you're teaching and instead just start playing. Kids learn best when they don't even realize they're learning. It's all about creating a positive, pressure-free environment where English is just part of the fun. So let's start with the absolute easiest way to bring English into your home: screen time. I know, we're always trying to limit it, but what if we made that screen time work for us? Instead of their usual cartoons, try switching the audio to English. Most streaming services have this option. The first time you do it, they might complain, "I can't understand it." That's okay, just say, "Let's just try for 5 minutes." The visuals, the characters they already love, and the familiar storyline will provide all the context they need. Soon they'll be picking up words and phrases without even trying. Let It Go from Frozen is practically a global English lesson for kids. Next up, let's talk about music. Music is a language powerhouse. Catchy tunes and simple lyrics get stuck in our heads. And it's no different for children. Create a playlist of fun, upbeat English songs for kids. We're talking super simple songs, The Wiggles, or even Disney soundtracks. Play them in the car, during breakfast, or while they're playing. Don't force them to sing along, just let the music fill the space. Before you know it, you'll hear them humming the melodies, and then, one day, they'll surprise you by singing. The wheels on the bus go round and round with perfect pronunciation. It's a magical moment, trust me. Now, for my personal favorite, game time. Let's turn your living room into a learning playground. You don't need expensive educational toys. Simple games work best. Play I Spy in English. I spy with my little eye something blue. It's great for colors and objects around the house. Simon Says is another classic. Simon Says, touch your nose. Simon Says, jump 3 times. This gets them moving and connects words to actions, which is fantastic for memory. You can even make up your own games. Try a treasure hunt. Hide an object and give them simple English clues to find it. It's under the table. It's next to the red book. The excitement of the hunt makes them eager to understand the clues. The key is to keep it light and fun. If they get a word wrong, don't correct them harshly. Just gently repeat the correct word and move on. The goal is participation, not perfection. Let's not forget the power of stories. Reading together is one of the most powerful bonding activities you can do, and it's a goldmine for language learning. Start with picture books that have very simple, repetitive text. Books by authors like Eric Carle are perfect. The Very Hungry Caterpillar, for example, teaches days of the week, numbers, and food items. As you read, point to the pictures. Be animated. Use funny voices for the characters. Ask simple questions in English, like, "Where's the caterpillar?" or "What color is the apple?" Even if they answer in their native language, you can respond in English. "Yes, it's a red apple." You're building a bridge between the two languages. As they get more comfortable, you can move on to slightly more complex stories. The shared experience of discovering a new world through a book makes the language come alive. Another fantastic tip is to integrate English into your daily routines. This is about making English a normal, everyday thing. When you're getting them dressed, you can say, "Let's put on your blue shirt," or "Where are your shoes?" When you're eating, name the foods in English. "Do you want some banana?" Or, "This apple is yummy." You don't have to translate everything. Just sprinkle in a few English words here and there. This method, known as code switching, is very natural. Think of it like adding a new spice to a familiar recipe. At first, it's a new taste, but soon it becomes part of the flavor. This low-pressure exposure helps them build a passive vocabulary they can draw on later. It's also important to lead by example. Let your kids see you enjoying English. If you're watching an English movie, tell them about it. If you're listening to an English song, sing along. If you're learning a new word yourself, share it with them. "Hey, I just learned a cool new word, spectacular." It means really, really amazing. "This cake is spectacular." Your enthusiasm is contagious. When they see that you value and enjoy the language, they are much more likely to feel the same way. They look up to you, so your attitude will shape theirs. And finally, my most important piece of advice: praise their effort, not just their accuracy. Language learning is a journey with many small steps. When your child tries to use an English word, even if they mispronounce it or use it in the wrong context, celebrate it. A big smile, a high five, or a "wow, great job trying" goes a long way. This positive reinforcement builds their confidence and makes them want to try again. They need to know that it's safe to make mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. They are stepping stones to learning. Creating this safe, supportive space is the ultimate key to fostering a genuine love for the language. So, to recap, turn learning into play. Use cartoons and music. Play simple games like I Spy. Read engaging storybooks together. Sprinkle English into your daily routines. Show your own enthusiasm, and always, always praise their effort. By shifting your mindset from teacher to playmate, you remove the pressure and create a world where English is associated with fun, connection, and discovery. You'll be amazed at how quickly your child starts to embrace the language, not because they have to, but because they want to. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope these tips help you and your little ones on your English learning adventure. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss our next video. Do you have any other fun ways you teach your kids English? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to read them.